and welcome back to my chart ruler series. Alright, so in today's video we are going to be discussing the Cancer rising chart ruler. Now before we do get into this, if you do not know what the chart ruler is within astrology, then please be sure to check out my introduction to the chart ruler video. Alright, so by having a Cancer rising, it means that the moon is your chart ruler. Meaning that as you do enter into all these areas of your life, you're going to be doing so through the lens that is Cancer. So let's begin by discussing the meaning of the moon, followed by the role that the moon will then play in your life by having a Cancer rising, and then we're going to finish off by assessing how you can then interpret your moon within your chart. For more information all about the moon, then please be sure to check out my moon in astrology video. Alright, so I stated in my chart ruler introduction video that both the sun and the moon act as this type of tag team. This is because whilst the sun is the greater light, the moon is the lesser light. Because the moon does not shine on its own, you see. It simply reflects the light that's coming from the sun. And this is exactly why I do see the sun and the moon acting as this yin-yang together. It is the moon that represents our feelings and our subconscious mind, whilst it's the sun that shows us where our efforts are required to then become a conscious individual. Keep in mind that Leo risings are all about the individual, they are about self-realization. However, the moon also plays a huge role in this as well. Because whilst the sun is the yang energy, okay, so it's outward, the moon is the yin energy, it's inward. But both the sun and the moon create and build the very ego structure of a person. The personality then acts as a reflector of our true selves, being the sun. The sun symbol is a circle after all, meaning that it's already complete within itself. So we already complete within ourselves by simply just being. But it is the wonderful moon's job to reflect this true sense of self, which is the sun. And this is what makes the moon the builder of form. And this is exactly why it's really important for us to understand our moon sign, because it shows us how we go about responding and reacting to things. And it's especially important for a Cancer rising to grasp this concept. It's about us then becoming aware of these emotional responses, because much too often the moon can get swayed by these deeply embedded instinctual patterns from the past. So it's about realizing that the sun has the power to provoke change and to implement change in these situations. Ultimately, it's about us really becoming aware of the phases and the cycles, much like the moon itself goes through its own phases and cycles. Because whilst these patterns can be quite constructive, other patterns might simply just hold us back from making progress and heading off in a new direction. Alright, so now we have explained the symbol that is the moon, let's now discuss the role that the moon will play in your life if you do have a Cancer rising. By having a Cancer rising, your story is going to be lived out instinctively and reactively. Just how sensitive you are is gonna be written all over your face if you have a Cancer rising. And when others do look at you, they might see a person who isn't so certain or sure of themselves, someone who can be quite vulnerable, someone who is relatively soft, someone who is gentle, quite delicate. However, these people should look twice. Because for you, security is everything. And if you so much as sniff danger coming your way, you back away. In fact, you will approach life from the point of view of security, of protection, and of support. From birth, you have probably been well nurtured and cared for by your parents. You've probably been born into a comforting and protective and loving home. Now, of course, this won't exactly be the case for all Cancer risings, but you probably did experience a very supportive and caring home. And this is essentially why finding a secure partner is crucial for you. And you do have Capricorn on your descendant, opposite Cancer. So Cancer's on your ascendant, your rising, then we've got Capricorn on your descendant. And it's also why security is a basic need for you overall. And most likely than not, it was your mother who played a large role in your life. So much so that you developed a strong emotional connection with them, whether that was a healthy one or an unhealthy one. But either way, the emotional ties with the mother still stands, and it will throughout your entire life. There is a possibility here of your mother just smothering you far too much from childhood. They might actually be the ones who find it really difficult to let you flee the nest, so to speak. My mom is a Cancer, by the way. She's got a Cancer son, and she forever calls me her baby. I'm 25. I'm the youngest of 6, by the way. But yeah, she's always calling me her baby. Though really, you might be the child who will always remain a child in your mother's eyes. You might even be 30 years old and she's still calling you every day, every single day, to see how you are. This in turn can result in you then viewing life or moving throughout your life in this almost dependable, needy way, sort of seeking that another person takes care of you or that you take care of them. Not only does the moon show us how we were nurtured when we were young, but it also shows us how we then go on to nurture and care for other people as well. And because you are so receptive to your mother, you might just live out your life in her image. You're just like your mother comes to mind. And it does make sense, right? If you did in fact absorb so much of your mother's energy growing up. But Cancer risings, this is the challenge for you because you're not your mother. You must learn how to grow and stand on your own 2 feet in the world. Like I said, you might find it really difficult to flee the nest. And so it's about learning to take care of yourself in this life. It's about developing your own sense of home. And this all starts by looking within yourself. But still, you are going to be this nurturing and caring person at heart. So whenever you do cross other people, you're going to expand that out. And I get it, right? I get it. You're used to going into new situations by really feeling it out, right? But it's very important that you learn to flow gracefully with your intuition. And this is just it, because there is a key difference between using your instincts and your intuition. So whereas the instinct speaks in terms of resistance, the intuition speaks in terms of flow. The intuition will urge us to go this way or to do this thing or to approach that person. Essentially, if something isn't right for us, then the intuition won't push against it. Instead, it will simply redirect us towards something else. But the instincts, on the other hand, they push back. The instincts can resist, they can be fearful, or can judge. The instincts can really judge what you perceive as wrong rather than reckoning you towards what is right. So it is very important to pay attention to these differences, because whilst the intuition demands courage and trust, instinct is best met with prudence. This is because the instinct is a little more than just a hardwired impulse based on our mechanisms and our assumptions and our expectations that we've learned early on in life. Our instincts might actually lead us somewhere that feels safe and protected and comfortable, but because it's so based on old information, it can't take you anywhere beyond what you've already done or where you've already been. And that's the comfort zone, isn't it? Where we're just in our own little comfort zone. This is all I know. This is all I want to be. I'm scared to go out here because I'm not used to that. Cancers are terrified of that. The unknown. Oh, I'm not used to this. I'm gonna go back into my shell. But the intuition can really guide us. The intuition can be that inner compass. And I know if you have a Cancer rising, your intuition is going to be incredible. But it's about learning how to cultivate that. Ultimately, it is so important for you Cancer rising to come out of your shell and to face the world intuitively rather than hiding away in fear of the unknown. And I think that this is a huge lesson that we can learn from Cancer, because what we learn is it's really hard to allow our intuition to come out and to guide us in life. So now we have, of course, established what the moon represents and the role that it plays in your life. How exactly can you then interpret your moon placement within your birth chart? Because after all, the placement of the moon is going to play an extremely important role in your life. Now, whichever sign your moon is in, it will tell you how you go out living your life really instinctively and reactively, how sensitive you are, how you then sort of use or utilize your intuition, how you want to feel this sense of security, and how you want to be cared for. But whichever house your moon is in will tell you where you live your life instinctively and reactively, where you're going to feel most sensitive, where you might really cultivate your intuition, where you're going to feel secure or be cared for. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple of my own personal examples with some Cancer risings. I think examples are a great way for us to learn, so feel free to comment in the comment section any experiences that you've had with any Cancer risings, or if you are a Cancer rising, then share your experiences as well. My manager has a Cancer rising, okay, and her moon is in the sign of Sagittarius, and this is placed in her 6th house. She also has an Aquarius sun, just like me. She told me that in her early years she was a nurse, right? Then she went back to university when she was in her early 30s, I think. So she went to then study social care. I think it was social care that she studied, and that screams to me that sort of higher education, right? With the Sagittarius moon that she has, and Sagittarius is all about higher education. So she completely, essentially changed direction. She completely changed direction through her life, even though she had a family, she still went for it. I remember having a conversation with her about this, and she just said that she felt it. She just felt like she needed to do this for herself. And even though she had all the family, everything going on, very Cancerian thing, right? The Cancers just, they want to nurture and care for their family, but still it's important for Cancers to do something for themselves as well. For her, her intuition sort of guided her towards doing this course, even though she was in her early 30s. And she did express how she felt in that moment, that she just needed the change. It's the moon, of course, that is all about our needs, and it's very changeable. My manager just did this huge leap of faith for her own personal sense of freedom, and that to me as well just screams Sagittarius moon, because Sagittarius is all about freedom. So she was a social worker for many years, and now she is a manager of a new establishment, the establishment that I work in. But the thing about it is that she provides me with the freedom that I need to do in my day-to-day tasks. I do see the linkage here of the 6th house coming in on the day-to-day, because for her, I don't think it's necessarily been this career that she's had. She sort of went in and out of these different types of jobs. So while she's been a nurse, she's also been a social worker, and now she's a manager. She's been kind of dipping in and out and being very changeable with the work that she does, but essentially it's all focused within the work and service, and it's focused within helping other people. And I think that that's the Virgo, because of course Virgo rules the 6th house, so it's that daily work and service, and that's what she's doing with her life, or what she has done. Truly, with my manager, she was able to change her course because she followed her intuition. So another example, I'm going to use an example from a client that I did a birth chart reading for. You know who you are when I talk about this, but yeah, this person has their Cancer rising, and then his moon is in Leo in his 2nd house. What I think is very important to note about this person, well, is the fact that he does have a Leo moon. After all, this is the mighty Leo ruled by the sun, and we did discuss the sun in the Leo rising video, okay, the chart ruler video. If you didn't watch that video, then I suggest watching it. And so this is individualization coming together with the emotional responses for this person. It's almost like he is going to go throughout his life reacting and responding to what makes him really feel important. This is a person who is sensitive to their self-worth, sensitive to living life their own way, For him, it's about truly feeling secure in who he is. And also, he's going to react and respond to creativity, to people who express themselves, to drama, to passion. And it's probably why actually I attract so many Leo moons. I attract so many. I've just realized, I've been noticing this, but I do have my sun in the 5th house and I have a 5th house stellium, and I just tend to just attract a lot of Leo moons. Furthermore, it's this reactive fire that is strongly based upon what he owns or possesses and what he values. In fact, his mother probably taught him the importance of being an individual, and I think that this placement can be a very strong advantage for a Cancer rising person. Ultimately, in his life, this person is going to be very emotionally connected to achieving financial security, but with the pride, that sheer pride in knowing that he did it for himself. And it's quite interesting because he is actually a businessman and he runs his own company. Okay guys, so that concludes my video on the Cancer rising chart ruler. In the next video, I am going to be talking about the Gemini rising's chart ruler. So if you would like to catch up with that video and you've not yet subscribed, then click the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I will be back, of course, with another video very, very soon.